Hello, hello. This is Ronda Winstead with you today. I am happy to be here and I hope that you are having a great day. Whatever time of day it is that you are watching this video. This always happens. I don't know. This is just part of the hello, welcome as my throat goes. So please excuse me while I try to tone that down and sound a little bit more like myself. Sheesh. I'm so glad to be here with you guys today. So what am I working on today? I am working with Barbara of 49dragonflies, some of her digitals. I'm just playing around and just having such a fun time, and I thought, I want to bring you along. I've already done a little bit. I've just kind of I've been thinking about doing something a little bit different, but not. If that makes sense to you, I don't know if it does or not. For those of you that have followed me for some time, you know I love pink. And there were probably 2-3 years ago, I was really into lavender for a period of time, pink and lavender. And I still love that as well, but I just kind of gravitated more towards pink. And I think especially because pink Christmas is just fabulous. It's, it's just yum. And so I've kind of kept that. And I do a lot of what I do in my own journaling and journaling that I have created for others, bring in that color pink. Why do I like it? Because I know some people are just like pink. I don't know. It's just happy. It's a happy color. It just, I don't know, it just makes me feel joyful. I love happy colors. I love to feel joy. I love to feel, I don't know, what I call the spirit. And so I like light and bright more than I do in the more subdued and darker colors. Not that those aren't fabulous. And some people can pull it off amazingly well, which is wonderful. But for me, it's just something that I enjoy. And as we are doing our journaling, as we go along, we should be kind of evaluating. Why do we do this? Why do we do that? Sometimes there'll be a reason. Sometimes there won't be. And that's okay. We can just do it because, well, I don't know, because I want to. That's perfectly fine. We don't have to have great reasons for everything that we create. It's perfectly fine. It's absolutely fine. If you haven't already given yourself permission to just do what you enjoy doing, then I'm giving you permission, along with myself, to just create what brings you joy, what makes you happy, what makes you smile and just feel like, okay, this is nice. There's so much out there that isn't joyful and that is dark and depressing. And so why not counter that just a little bit with some of the things that we create? Okay, enough of that. So let's just get to it. I'm going to change the view on this and show you what I have been doing. I'm kind of combining a few of Barbara's digitals, and I will have links in the description box below this video here that you can go, to purchase any of her materials. And just so that you know, if you use my discount code, then you will get 10% off your entire digital order from Barbara, which is pretty good. Okay, so I am highlighting You Belong Among the Wildflowers. And I've been using, a lot of this is Barbara's own drawing. She's very skilled, and she has these amazing birds, and I love her birds. And then she has added butterflies and die cut images of flowers, and just some really fun, pretty, just some pretty digitals. And I don't have all of them printed here for you because I've been using them. And so, but you can go and take a peek and see what she's got. And like I said, I will have the links for everything. And as you can see, I don't know, obviously, what's upside down and what's not. But there are several things that you can pick from for your creating pleasure. These are wonderful background pages, and so I have some of these I've printed out a couple of times. Okay, so let me show you what I have been working on. All right, this is one of her digital pages, and it's started, this is kind of it. It has this image, and I used 2 of these images because I wanted, and this had a little extra here, but I've already ripped that edge off. That's why that looks a little funky. It actually goes like this, and there's some more. Okay, so explaining what I did here. As you can see, I took advantage of this wonderful open space, and I used these. This is kind of what I'm using in this particular little journal that I'm working on, and using these phrases outlined in black. I just think they're amazing. And so this one is listen to your heart. And then I have added additional, and you can see maybe why I picked this. Look at these beautiful spots of pink ink, it appears. And this is what I cut out of a second image so that I could add some dimensional. You can buy these in most craft stores. You can also get this kind, which you can also get in a sewing or craft store. So this is, I'm almost out of this. So it has sticky on both sides. This is little paper dots and spongy dots, and you put them underneath, and it gives a raised look to your work. Can you see? Let's see. Let me zoom in, and let me adjust the light. Let me kind of move that so you can see underneath. And when you're looking at it, the camera doesn't catch it as much as there is, but it's very dimensional, and you get shadowing around, which is really cool. So this adds wonderful texture as well as just interest for you to look at. So that's one of the things that I did to bump up this page. And then she said, and I did a little bit of a collage on here to just add some fun and interest. This is from the kit, and I backed it with just some black cardstock and put the dimensionals on here as well. This is fabric I have stitched. I took some strips and just stitched and ruffled as I go. You could do this by hand too, if you wanted to. It takes a little bit longer, but it would certainly give it fun interest as well. Give it a little bit of your flavor, which is what we want to do. I'm doing me and sharing ideas, and you do you. And maybe this will spark something, or maybe you have something wonderful. And I love it when you share what you're doing and what's working for you and your ideas too, because I'm always learning. I'm always learning and growing. And so I absolutely love that. Okay, so as you can see, and if you followed me for a while, you also will have learned most likely that I enjoy layering. I love the layering process. Collaging and layering are very fun. Okay, so we have cheesecloth. We have old book page, German book, I think it's German or Old Dutch, I don't know, but I love the font. It's so cool. So cool. And then I've added this fabric ruffle here, and these have all just been glued down. And then these with the dimensionals or dimension little tabs or spots or whatever you want to call them on top. So you've got quite a bit of texture, quite a bit of fun going on here. All right, let me just kind of take some of that out. Let me show you the whole page inside and out. Okay, so I found some really cool paper years ago, and I have been hoarding it, as I love it when Rachel with Roxy Creations, when she talks about the hoarding papers and hoarding, and that we all do it, and she is so right. You are so right, girlfriend. And why? You know, we just get, every year we get a year older, and the paper gets a year older. And it still isn't seen. We know we've got it, but other people don't know. So anyway, one of the things I was trying to do when I said the same but different is I am trying to use more of my antique and vintage papers. I have been fortunate to come across some antique papers. Now, they're not all rag papers. Some are not, but all of them have this amazing edging, you know, the natural inking, if you will. And just this one is 1882, some of these papers. And so I've made it my, I don't know, a goal, I suppose, or just a challenge for myself, that I'm going to try to use some of these papers more and more in my personal journaling, and in those that I might, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've sold a journal. Not because I couldn't have, but just because, you know, time and effort and, you know, just doing other things. The reality is, my friends, and those of you that have sold journals, you know this too, you never make your money on a journal. Not for the time and effort that you put into it. You never do. unless you value your time and effort at like 2 cents an hour. I don't know. But that's, I digress. Sorry. Okay. So my thought was, going back to this, taking, well, that one's got the cover on it, but I looked through my antique books and I tried to find something that was similar in size to a digital. you know, an 8.5 by 11 digital. And so I came across this book that I'm using that I told you was 1882. And it was like, okay, this is cool. So what I did was I decided which page I wanted to be the front. And of course, with this one, I would want this to show because that's super cool. And so I would take my digital page, whatever, and I would put it on and center it because this is a little bit bigger than this. I didn't worry about the top or the bottom. It's pretty close. And at some point when I was ready, then I would fold. And this is something that I actually have learned from Rachel with Roxy Creations, is she just uses all her old book pages beautifully, and she does a lot of folding and things to keep them, you know, not to tear them off, but to add extra strength. And so that was the process. That was my thought process when I was doing some of this. Now, this particular one that I started out with, you can see I've done this a little bit differently. So this is, let's see, and do I have any finish that are like that I can show you right at the moment? No, I don't have any here that I can show you. Okay, so that's something that you can do to back one of these amazing digitals. If you don't want to go ahead and run this through your printer again, you know, to use some of the backgrounds or to use a different background, Barbara's also got some wonderful bubble paper that you can, those would make fabulous backgrounds as well. But I'm trying to incorporate these antique book pages, and so that's my thought process. Okay, so well, this is the one. Duh. I'm sorry, you guys. Forgive my, you know, I did this yesterday. So by today, you know, I've forgotten already what I did. That is what I did. Duh. See? I folded over, and this was my base page. I hadn't done this yet, okay? So I just folded that, I glued it, but I didn't do it until I decided, and this is a little bit different, but on this image, I decided to take out one of the windows. So I cut that out. You can see, this is where it was. I cut that out, and this is the image that was in a little frame. It was in a gray frame. You know, all of these digitals are wonderful for so many applications because you can cater it to your color, to your style. She gives in some wonderful soft subtles, and then you punch it up with whatever you want to do, or leave it nice and subtle. Those are absolutely beautiful as well. You can use it just as is and it will be perfect, or you can, you know, play with it a little bit and punch it up. So what I did then, after I cut that out, then I created a pocket in here. And let's see. Let me show you. I actually did kind of clean off my desk. It was pretty awful. And another thing that I am trying to do in this particular journal is I'm using Barbara's Digitals. That's number one. Number two, I'm using antique or vintage books. You don't have to use vintage books. You don't have to use antique books. You use whatever you've got that is interesting to you. Just go to your Goodwill, a used thrift store, whatever. Find a size. You maybe take a piece of 8.5 by 11 or whatever. In Europe, it's a little different size, which is great. Just take a piece, fold it over, and just go searching for your book that way to just kind of get the right size. And then your papers, then you can look at the font and take a look at that and see what is more interesting to you. So I don't want anybody to think that you can't do this if you don't have antique book pages. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. Give yourself permission to do whatever you want. Okay. So then it just happened that I had a glassine bag that is the perfect size for this window. And so I took a little notch out, to I don't know what they call those, finger, thumb tab, or I don't know what. But as you can see, I've created this fun little journaling spot to go inside. So you do have some journaling here. The other thing I was going to bring out, let's see, I said number one, Barbara's Digitals. Number two, book pages. I'm using antique and vintage and old, whatever looks good. You use whatever you want, some kind of book page. And number three, I'm actually trying to use up some of my scrapbooking paper. How many of you guys have scrapbooking paper hanging around that's been there that you used to scrapbook with, you used to make cards with, or whatever, and it's just been sitting there, gathering dust, looking lonely, saying, "Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, use me," whatever. And so that's something else that I'm trying to incorporate in this. Okay. TMI, too much information? Sorry. Okay, so you can see that in creating this, and I did this before I put the two papers together. This was still just like this. So instead of it being on this side, if you'll imagine here, I would take out my image, I would put my glue, my glassine bag. Let's see. Here's a glassine bag. Then I would put my notch in here, and to notch it, you need to have some thickness cardstock or something that you just fold over here so that you're not just cutting one thickness of glassine. Because generally speaking, any of the cutters, the punches that I've used, they never work when I try to do that. You have to add a little bit of extra bulk in your paper. But, okay, that being said, then you would look and see, and you want to have your, say this is my outline, okay? Then I want my pocket, and imagine that I have cut my little thumb thingy out. Thumb thingy. I want that to show like this. I want this open. I don't want to stitch it closed because this is my pocket. Okay, but I'm doing it from the back side. I'm bringing it down and positioning it. And then I'm just taping this or gluing this on, gluing this down. And then, if you want, I stitched around my pocket to give it stability. You don't have to. And then I added another border to bring out the colors that I love, which pink, and I have this trim that has this green in here as well. And I thought it helped pop some of these colors, so I thought it was fabulous. Oh, and by the way, I used watercolor pencils to add a little bit more color to my bird. You can see here, and this is a little different in it's not the same as this, but it's the same image just done differently. And so you can color this, which is kind of fun too. Play with your watercolors, or you know, whatever chalks or whatever it is that you have that would be kind of fun. So you can absolutely cater this to whatever color that you would like. Okay, where am I? I hope I haven't made this so totally confusing. And I can, you know, if need be, I can do a video showing the whole thing. I just was playing. I didn't want to do a video yesterday because I wasn't sure what I was doing. And when that goes, the video could be like an hour and I still haven't done anything. I've just been thinking. So, okay, moving on. You have whatever you want to do decorating wise on both sides, and it's still just the page. If you don't want to decorate anything and you want this, you can have this for writing, and you want it just as is. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. This will make an absolutely wonderful page all by itself. You do not have to do anything to it, okay? But if you have a weird brain and you're like, well, maybe I want to do a little bit of something, then you can do that. Okay, say we're done. All right. This part, I actually, let's see. Yeah, this part, I will show you what I have done. And my, isn't that white? It is very white. So I am just going on the center. By the way, if you're using, one of the advantages of not using an antique book page would be that your book pages are probably going to be a bit sturdier. Okay, let's kind of, and so you're not going to need the same, you're just not going to have to be quite as careful, you know, so that's kind of cool if you do it that way. Okay, I'm going to take this back out here just a little bit. Okay, so then I am getting my glue stick out, and I am covering this, and I am folding over like so. And I like this. I just I don't know, I just like it. So then I'm going to do this on the other side. Look at this. I don't know if you can see this, but somebody has taken meticulous notes and written in the margins. And maybe I should have picked the other page. But it's too late now, baby. And then I am just folding that over, as you can see. So we have, and if you wanted to, you could also create pockets. I didn't on this because this book page is somewhat fragile. And so I didn't want, you know, there to be a lot of movement in and out with a tab or with papers or anything that way, with pockets and such. So we have now this beautiful, and keep in mind, you could have, if you wanted to do some fun things, you could have made some, you know, some embellishing or whatever. And then what I did was take this to my sewing machine and I just stitched all the way around. And I stitched on here. I'm not going to do that now because this video is already getting long. But you can see from what I did here, my stitching line. And I like to, when I do my special papers that I put in my Etsy shop, which I'm still not quite ready to put those back in, and I will share with you why. Anyway, this also adds a nice edge. It gives it a nice color. And then, and then, you can add like some, you can put tracing paper, you can put onion skin paper, you can put deli paper, a finish if you want to be able to see your book page. I like to be able to see, so I like the, you know, the kind of the clear-ish. And this paper that I've been hoarding, it's not, I don't know what kind of paper it is, quite honestly, but it's not, but it has that finish feel to it and look, but it's still, you know, somewhat faded. But then you go ahead and put whatever paper it is that you're doing. And then I went and stitched down with my pink thread. I used pink because I'm doing pink. You could use whatever color you wanted. I added some washi tape. I decided to fold this paper over like I had folded the old book page over, not cut it off, to give it extra strength. And then I deliberately, this is just, you know, for whatever, I didn't want it exactly the same size. I wanted to show the two different, to add more texture. And so I folded it in a little bit more and stitched. And then because my paper came actually to about here, then I added a strip of washi tape, you know, with the colors that I'm liking. And I love it. I absolutely am in love with this. And I got so excited. I got done and I'm just like, oh. But then it's like, oh, you didn't do a video. So let me show you, my dears, my dear friends. I love you guys. Did I tell you that? Did I tell you that yet? I love you. You guys are so amazing. You are the best. You are my bestest, amazing friends. in a certain arena, in our art arena. I love you. Okay, so let me show you what I've got so far. And maybe we should do this. We'll zoom in. Okay. All right, let's get that so you can see. So now I can do something else here. Let me move these. That's kind of getting in the way, isn't it? So there's more that can be done here, but my main purpose was to make this a writing. This is journaling, and you can journal on this page. I added some avocado dyed, I didn't do it, paper here. I took an envelope and cut it open. This is the other side of the envelope. I haven't done anything with it yet. And I just created just a fun, a collaged, just a piece. I haven't actually decided. One of my thoughts is I may stitch this on, and of course it's folded exactly in half, so whatever I do on this side would be done on this side as well. I may stitch that down, or I may go ahead and cover this a little bit more and have this be a journaling spot, kind of a hidden journaling spot, if you will, because, you know, if somebody's just going through it like this, they wouldn't, you know, open it up and see it. But anyway, and then I also decided I wanted to add some more interest to my book pages, and so this I have just glued. Now this particular set is Barbara's boho birds that she did a little while ago, and I thought the birds, hello, and the colors, hello. Thought it goes really well, so I added that. This is a strip of fabric that I have just torn off and stitched on. And on, I mean, look at this, you guys. Is this fabulous? Look at this. This is just like fun. So I stitched on both sides, and here, this is washi tape that I put down the center to strengthen, because as you can see, the center part is what really needs kind of some strengthening. And so I did that, and I was only going to do it on one side, but then I love the look of these little dragonflies. And hello, dragonfly, 49 dragonfly. Oh! How does that work? Yeah, perfectly. That's how that works. And then here's another page that I did. This time I used a tracing paper that I had ordered that was dyed, coffee dyed, and I backed Barbara's beautiful page with that, and then I inked around the edges. And I'm going to do some more to this. I just haven't done it yet. Let's see if I got it to where I can show you real quickly or not. So I am going to I'm going to add some fabric, a little piece of fabric, and then I am going to add this, Find Joy in the Journey. There's nothing wrong with this. This is You Belong to Among the Wildflowers. That's also beautiful. But I have been enjoying bringing out her black so that it kind of pops. So I want it to match with what I'm doing, and that's why I'm doing that. But if you were leaving it just, like I said, this is beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. But that's something I haven't done yet. Okay, then another thing that I did, and then this really has got to be done. I took a book page and I folded it in half. I did use washi tape. These are kind of the two washi tapes, the dragonflies and the little checkered. So, and you could do this with any book page. I just folded it in and folded it in, and that gave me a half page, which is really quite interesting. And then I took some antique lace, and I have had this lace for at least, oh golly, probably a good 5 years, and I have not used much at all. I've just, you know, you hoard it, and you need the perfect project, right? Right? So anyway, I thought, oh my gosh, this is gonna fit perfectly. So I stitched this down, and if I wanted to, I could make a pocket here. I've not stitched here, and I don't think I even glued. I think I was excited and just stitched my lace on. But you could do that. So this is just a page for just to be pretty. And here I stamped and just added a little bit of interest, and this can all be written on. So you've got a lot of writing pages here so far. And I think that is about it. Oh, one more. Here's my beautiful dragonflies and another boho bird. Ooh, yum. Okay, so that is it, my dears. Okay, so I was going to share with you with my Etsy thing. The reason that I am holding off just a little bit on that is I went to the radiology doctor yesterday, and they got me all fit out for the radiation, but they have to get it approved, you know, insurance and all that. So that will start soon, and I need to make sure that with the radiation treatments that I'm okay to still do business. It should, he said I could get tired. And so I just need to find out how tired is tired. I'll have a total of 28 treatments for the breast and 15 for the T4 in my back. But they'll do them simultaneously. But that's Monday through Friday. It's every day. I'll go in for about half an hour, you know, anyway, to have those treatments. So if I get super, super tired during that time, then I'm going to have to just kind of stretch it out. And I hope you guys will be patient with me. I'm so sorry. But, you know, we just got to kind of work on this cancer irritant and kind of do what we can to sort of get that under control a little bit. But I will. I mean, I'm chomping at the bit. Seriously, you guys. I'm really, really wanting to get going with the things that I enjoy doing and sharing with you all. So, all right. I love you guys. Have a fabulous day till we see you next time. Bye-bye now.